It is very comfortable, my friends. Very comfy cozy. Like, how do you do that with a tiny little fiber like this? I feel like $1,000,000 in this. It's amazing. This is not volume due to permatease. This is volume due to this style. This is just full of life and bounce and body, and I'm here for it. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 of Raquel Welch's brand new styles from their 2025 sheer luxury collection. But before I jump into it all, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Okay, so this month, it is March right now, 2025. In March, early on, Raquel Welch introduced 5 new styles into their sheer luxury collection. However, these new styles aren't just new styles. They have also, along with these styles, introduced new fibers as well as a new cap. So I'm gonna break down the cap for you guys. The cap is the same for all 5 styles. Unfortunately, today I only have 3 out of the 5 styles to show you, but that's okay. Hopefully down the road, I will get the other 2 to show you. But like I said, we will take a look at the cap and quickly talk about the fibers that are different for these new styles. Okay, so these new styles feature the Lux Lite 2 cap. Not to be confused with Raquel Welch's Lux Lite cap, which they introduced last year on several styles. So let's take a look at the Lux Lite 2 cap. I am wearing it on my head right now. This is Showrunner on my head, but I'm gonna show it on this cap right here first, and then I'll talk more about Showrunner. So the Lux Lite 2 cap is right here. It is very comfortable, my friends. Very comfy cozy. But what do we have? We have, this is a partially hand-tied cap. So that means the top half of your wig here is going to be hand tied. All these little dots you see have been hand tied knots onto this fabric here. The bottom half is closed wefting. So that means this part here where you see those rows, those are machine sewn into these rows, which we call wefts. So when you have a partially hand-tied cap, that's gonna lower the cost a little bit more than if it were a fully hand-tied cap, like if the whole cap was made out of this here, because we have the machine sewn part down in the bottom. One thing you're gonna find with this cap, the Lux Lite 2 cap, is that it's not very stretchy. Like, you can tell here, there's no stretch in this middle panel here, and there's no stretch in the wefting. Like, it's pretty stretchless. You will find some stretch in these side panels here. So it's a little bit stretchier in these side panels, but overall, you're gonna find this cap is not very stretchy. Something else this features is a full monofilament top. So a full monofilament top is this section up here. And that just means that this is like a lace-like material here where all the fibers have been hand tied onto this material. Here you can see my thumb through it, and it's gonna allow you to part it wherever you want, and it's gonna allow you to have that realistic illusion of scalp through your part line. One thing to note though is that this monofilament top here, it's a little bit smaller than their other monofilament tops. You'll notice how it doesn't take up this whole section around here. It's kind of cut off a little bit smaller, and then the rest of the portion up here is a hand-tied top. So we do have a little bit of a smaller area of the monofilament, but that's okay. You're still gonna get a really good amount of parting space here to work with, which is great. Then we have it goes directly into our lace front. Goes extended temple to temple. So you're gonna have it extending and melting into your ear tabs a little bit. Whereas often, well not often, but sometimes you're gonna find lace fronts that stop right where my fingers are, just a temple to temple. And then there can be like an abrupt transition into the rest of the wig, which isn't always great, but it's always nice to have it extend and melt into your ear tabs. Okay, so that lace front allows you to pull it off of your face, giving you that illusion of growth right from your hairline. Next on this cap, we have these silicone ear tabs. However, you're gonna notice, if I bring it up close, all of these, the silicone here is very lightly sewn on. You can very easily get a seam ripper take off that silicone to reveal some velvet underneath if you prefer velvet. The silicone is great. It kind of grips your skin a little bit better. For me, as someone who doesn't have hair, I like the silicone ear tabs. I feel like it helps make it really secure for me. Like I feel it gripping, which is awesome. But maybe you're a velvet gal, you prefer the velvet. So you could take that off easily. We also have our velvet extended nape, but they've also added this silicone strip at the bottom at your nape, which also you can take a seam ripper, take the stitching out and take that off if you don't like it. However, I find for me, as someone again who doesn't have hair, this also grips really nicely to my the bottom of my head here, kind of my nape area. And it's really good for gripping, really good for people who have a flatter back of their head where the wig wants to keep rising up and lifting. This really helps to kind of stick against your skin, and it's really great to even put some adhesive there to help out as well. And then we have our Velcro adjusters where you can adjust your circumference. So I think that pretty much nails down the cap. Now, I just want to show you a quick difference between your Lux Lite 2 cap, which is what we're going to see on these styles I'm showing you today, the Lux Lite 2 cap, and how it differs from the Lux Lite cap. So this is the Lux Lite cap that they introduced last year. So much of it is the same. You're going to find the silicone ear tabs that you can easily remove. You're going to find the nape, the silicone nape, which is a little bit thicker, to be honest. You can have a little bit more there to work with. You're gonna find the Velcro adjusters. You're gonna find a partially hand-tied cap with some wefting at the bottom, not as much. And you're gonna find those inner panels are not quite as stretchy, but these side panels do have some stretch. So all of it's the same. You even have the lace front that extends. The main difference between these two caps is that this just has a left monofilament part here, whereas Lux Lite 2 caps have a full monofilament top. So this is your major difference. Hopefully you can tell. So full monofilament top on these new Lux Lite 2 caps, left monofilament part on the older Lux Lite caps. I'm holding up the style Dress Rehearsal, by the way. So this is from their collection last year with the Lux Lite cap. Okay, now that we've talked about the cap, let's talk about how these fit. You're gonna find that these Lux Lite 2 caps fit bigger than average. I'm a petite size measuring 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, 11.5 inches ear to ear. So I'm a true petite size. These are quite big on me. However, honestly, having these silicone ear tabs, the silicone nape, they really help to make it feel secure. Like I can pull it back over my head pretty far down, and that silicone does help in keeping it stretched out so it's not bunching quite as much. So I do enjoy having that silicone nape there. But these do fit a bit bigger than average. So if you are a petite gal like I am, you may not love the fit of these. They may just be a little bit too big for you, but I'm a petite. I wear them anyways. I just bring in the adjusters a little bit and go with it. But there is quite a bit of stretch to them, to the circumference, I should say. But just a reminder, there's not a ton of stretch like going front to nape. All right, now that we've covered pretty much everything to do with the cap, let's talk about these fibers. So they have introduced to the Sheer Luxury Collection in 2025, their Feather Lite fiber. So their Feather Lite fiber is just that. It is feathery light. It is going to be lighter than human hair is. Plus, it is also going to be about 30% lighter than your typical heat-friendly synthetic fiber. And the reason it is lighter is because, and I mean, this kind of blows me away every time I think about it, but each of these fibers is made, you can't even see it. Well, I can't even see it. I don't know why I'm trying to show it to you. But each single fiber is shaped like a tube. So it's hollow in the center, making it lighter. Like, how do you do that with a tiny little fiber like this? How does that happen? I don't know. Science, the world. We live in a very cool place. So these 5 new styles, 3 of which I'm showing today, but the 5 new styles will all have these Feather Lite fibers on them. And I honestly do notice that they are a little bit lighter weight. It's not like drastic, but I can tell that these are a little bit lighter weight. This, as you can see, it has a decent amount of hair on here. There's like a good chunk of hair, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it on my head because of these lightweight fibers and also because of this very comfy cap. But okay, let's start talking about this one here. This is Showrunner. So this is obviously part of their new collection. Let me start by giving you a spin here. I'm wearing this in the color RL12/22SS shaded Cappuccino. Now I've gotten some feedback on this one already, and a lot of women say that it is a lot of hair and they're probably gonna stay away from it. But if you are someone who does like this voluminous look, like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely beautiful. I think this is my favorite one out of all of their new releases. And I love the volume on this because it is what I would say a natural volume. You have no permatease on these caps. So anytime you have a hand-tied portion on your cap, so we have hand-tied on the top where it's the monofilament top, all those fibers are hand-tied. We have the hand-tied portion in the top half of your cap here. You're not gonna find any permatease wherever there's those hand-tied portions. Because you don't have any permatease up there, that's gonna allow your wig to lay flat against your head. You're not gonna find any unnatural poofiness here, which is gonna help to make it look a little bit more natural. All of the volume here comes from this style. It comes from the density, but it's just all a very natural volume that I am obsessed with. I will take a natural volume over permatease any day. This is just full of life and bounce and body, and I'm here for it. Very much here for it. Now, one thing I find kind of fun about this wig is depending on how you brush through it and how you're wearing it, it can kind of look a little bit different. If you are bringing it down, you can make this a little bit sleeker. If you're doing that, you're combing through it, it's gonna lay flatter and you're gonna have little flips kind of going outwards at the end. See how we have these like outward flips, and then the front is gonna come in. So you can wear it like that. But if you wanna like zhuzh it up, that's when it like, all the fibers just kind of like intertwine with each other. Some flip out, some flip in. They have all sorts of directions they're going. And suddenly the whole flippy outy thing at the bottom isn't a thing anymore. It's just like everything. Does that make sense? Am I showing this accurately? It just like takes on a life of its own and creates this full-bodied natural volume look. Like you just had a big old blowout. We got lots of natural layers in here as well. Starting in the front, you can see them. And then we have almost a little bit of a bang here. So we have this sort of curtain bang, I guess, which is really nice because you can keep it this way and use it as like a curtain bang. You can part it to the left or the right, and it can turn into more of like a side swept bang. Or you can use it as something to help you cut an actual bang, like a straight across kind of a bang. So you have options with these layers in the front to help you sort of do as you wish. I'm gonna show you the lace front on this. Now, the lace front is gonna differ depending on the color you have. It's gonna look a little bit different. Overall though, Raquel Welch always does a good job with their lace fronts and their knotting. They make fairly small knots, so they're not quite visible. And you're gonna find they always bring the lighter color forward to help make the knots less noticeable. But on a color like Shaded Cappuccino, they do bring a lot of that forward, so you do have that banding effect, that sort of rainbow that I'm always talking about. Okay, I'm bringing my curtain over a little bit so the sun isn't quite in my face as much, but we're still getting really good lighting for the color here. All right, hopefully I was able to show you how you can wear this style. Like, look at the beauty of this. Obsessed. I love it so much. And hopefully you were able to see how you don't have to wear it quite like this. You can tone it down a bit. And because this is heat-friendly synthetic, you can straighten it too if you want. Now that I'm talking, right now, I'm gonna show you the monofilament top that I forgot to show you fully earlier. So there we have it. And of course, just like the lace front, your monofilament top is gonna look a little bit different depending on what color you have. So because we have darker roots, you're gonna see the knotting a little bit more easily. But if you get like a full-on blonde style, the knotting is gonna be less visible. Okay, I'm taking off Showrunner right now, and I'm gonna put on the next one for you called Waves and Raves. So I'm not gonna show the cap again because it is the exact same cap that we just saw on Showrunner. And to me, it does fit the same. It's just a little bit bigger than average on this cap here. But again, nice and stretchy in the circumference, just not quite as stretchy in your front to nape. Okay, here is Waves and Raves. Let me start by giving you a little bit of a spin. So Waves and Raves has some adorable waves, obviously, in this. They're very unstructured. They can be a little bit messy if you want them to be. And then we have a lot of layering in this as well. So you're gonna see the layers starting up here, coming down as you go throughout your wig. Plus we have bangs on this. So the bangs are very versatile. You can bring them forward if you want, and you can cut them and make them shorter to be like a straight across bang. You can part them in the middle, integrate them with the rest of your wig. You can have a side part here, and you can swoop them. So all of these bangs on these styles are very versatile. You can kind of do as you wish. Now again, this is not volume due to permatease. This is volume due to this style. There's a lot of volume in this, but it's a natural volume. This is gonna move really easily because we have this hand-tied portion up here. You can move this every which way you want. This is all just a really natural volume we have going on here. I would personally classify this as closer to a medium density, to be honest. There is a good chunk of hair on here, but remember, this is the Feather Lite fiber. So even though it is, and it looks like a lot of hair, it does feel quite lightweight on, and the cap, like I mentioned before, is very comfortable. Now I'm wearing the color RL8/29SS shaded hazelnut. It's a nice deep rich brunette with these warmer sort of reddish brown hazelnutty highlights going throughout it. And then we do have a root of a medium brown, but it blends really well into the rest of the brown throughout the wig. So overall, what it does is it just makes it look like you have a bit of a grown out highlight going on. All right, let me give you a peek at the lace front on this. So again, like I mentioned before, you're gonna have the lighter, more like hazelnutty color coming forward to help disguise the knotting a little bit. And then in our monofilament top, we do have that darker root. So you're gonna have the dark knots there. Now with this style this length, one of my very favorite ways to wear them is pin back and half up, half down. And I especially like to do this on these shorter styles that have a lot of volume, and I'm like, I'm overwhelmed by the volume. There's too much volume. So doing a half up, half down really like presses it down, tones it down, yet still looks so cute. So here's Waves and Raves, a cute little half up, half down with the bangs. I'm not sure where I want these bangs going yet. I don't know if I want to bring them forward and cut them, or if I want to bring them to the side. Might have to be a little bit of a trial and error kind of a thing, but here she is in a cute little half up, half down. Really easy to style her like this. All right, I'm gonna take off Waves and Raves now, and I'm gonna put on the last one I have. Sorry, I'm a little crazy looking. And it is feature length. Feature length is the longest style out of the bunch here. And my gosh, it is like model hair. It's amazing. All right, here she is. Look at, she's still going. Oh, there she goes. She ended. This is feature length. Again, same cap, so I don't really need to show it to you. Same fiber with the Feather Lite fiber here. And this is in the color Shaded Biscuit, also known as RL19/23SS. So we have a medium brown root here, nice neutral, leaning cool with these more platinum highlights throughout it. A really beautiful blonde that is probably their most popular blonde. Okay. On she goes. Let me bring all of her hair forward so you can see the dream that she is. I can't even get it all in the picture. I'm gonna give you a double chin here. Let me spin-a-roo for you. Okay, I know this can be a popular question, especially on the long ones, like how long is this style? Now, you're gonna get a lot of different measurements, like how long is it from the nape, how long is it from the side, how long is it from the back, but like, what does that all mean? So sometimes what I like to do for you guys is just take my measuring tape from my center part here, right from my center part, and go all the way down to the longest piece, if I can find it. It's so long. And, oh gosh, this is roughly 25 inches from my center part all the way down to the longest piece. Now, if you guys are new to wigs, and if you are new to heat-friendly synthetic fiber, you have to know something about them. I will not keep this in. I must tell you everything. You must know that these tangle. They tangle a lot and they get frizzy and frazzly at the ends quite easily. I have not worn feature length out and about other than more than like an hour. I really only had her on for an hour straight and she is tangling. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wear feature length for about 10 days. And I'm gonna come back to you guys and report on how she is, because some of us are wanting to know how these Feather Lite fibers hold up. Are they gonna be more tangly than their true to life heat-friendly fibers? Are they gonna be less tangly? Are they gonna be more clumpy or less clumpy? Are they like, what are they gonna do? I don't know. Honestly, I anticipate the tangles. Like, I anticipate probably not being able to tell the difference, to be honest, but we'll see. We will see how she goes. Because already I notice a lot of tangling. And of course, the longer your styles are, the more tangly they're going to get, and the more frizzy they're gonna get at the ends. Now, feature length has a lot of hair. There's it in a ponytail. This actually, since I'm here, this would be a really great ponytail wig, to be honest. Let me just show you a really quick one. Because of these layers in the front, you can pull them out. It's gonna look nice and natural. Really beautiful ponytail. This one might be hard to do like a claw clip updo because there's so much hair involved, but I mean, you can get her done. You could do it. You could wear her in a bun. Easy peasy. But to me, these layers in the front are everything to making a wig look good in an updo. But like I said, this is close to a medium density, low to medium density. But of course, these are Feather Lite fibers, and I can tell that it is a nice lightweight wig. Like, these fibers are quite lovely in terms of how light they feel. All right, let me show you the lace front here on the color Shaded Biscuit. Again, just like Shaded Cappuccino, we have the lighter fibers coming forward. I don't love that so much because, like I said, you get that rainbow across your forehead. I never pull my hair completely off my face because that just, to me, doesn't look right. I would always keep some pieces in front to disguise that lace front there. And I would add a little bit of the eyeshadow to the fibers up here to help make it a little bit less bright. But that's just me. You do you. And then let me give you a peek at the monofilament top. Again, this is a brown root, so you're gonna see the knots, but they're small knots. They're not too bad. All right, you guys, I think that's all I have to share with you about these three lovely pieces. Let me know which one your favorite is and if you are anticipating trying one out. And if you have tried one already, tell us about it. What has your experience been? We all want to know. I absolutely love feature length. This is just not a style that is super wearable every single day because it is super long and you do have to maintain it. But like I said, my favorite out of the three of these is definitely Showrunner, just because oh, it's just so beautiful. But I am looking forward to hearing about your favorite in the comments. Or, I mean, maybe you don't like any of them. I don't know. We all have our preferences. We all know what works best for us. And that's okay if we don't like any of these. But hopefully you guys, this was helpful in showcasing at least 3 out of the 5 of their new styles, showing you how beautiful they truly are. Like, I feel like $1 million in this. It's amazing. Anyways, hopefully this was helpful and you are able to use this to help you out in finding your first new piece or your next piece. Who knows? We are all on different parts of our journey right now. But thanks as always for watching, you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.